let's take it back a little bit. So, how safe really is crypto? Because like someone that ain't that involved in it, obviously they slag it off. They say, "Oh no, fucking terrible," and this and that. But that's probably because they don't understand it. But how safe is crypto?
So I mean, it goes two ways, right? Like I said earlier, with that comparison to the US military, the Bitcoin blockchain's never been hacked, and it's been around for 10 years. It's never had any downtime, which is pretty phenomenal. Like everything's been hacked. Every major company's been hacked. Yeah. Everyone's been hacked. But this cryptocurrency space is full of scammers, right? So if you're not keeping your wits about you, you can get scammed. And you know, we also spoke about like you know, pigs get slaughtered, sheep get slaughtered. If you're sort of not, if you're doing things blindly or you know, you're just being greedy, like you could see an opportunity that might look too good to be true and you could fall for it and you could be scammed, right? So one thing I'll say to people is never really, if someone's messaging you that you don't know, saying to invest in something, just don't do it, okay? Never fall for that. If you see something on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, whatever, like, oh, I just invested in this link, and like I've been making $500 a day, and they have the link there, don't click on it. When you're going on an exchange, always check the URL, because a lot of people will do like phishing attacks, and you'll think you're going into an exchange to put your details in, and then you won't go to the exchange, and then they'll take your details and they'll hack you. So, I mean,
I was speaking to someone downstairs that had 7 Bitcoins and transferred it to a exchange wallet, whatever, in Russia to get out of them. Yeah, they was given a better rate on it, whatever. Yeah, give them the finger, and that was it. Yeah, I was gone with the 7 Bitcoins.
Yeah. No, but see, that's the thing about a blockchain. Once something's been sent, it's sent, so you can't get it back. You can't phone up your bank you can with the bank. Oh, I missed that bad transaction. Like, it's gone. So, I mean, yeah, it's a new technology, and it comes with its risks. But if you have, your, like, you were showing me you had a ledger before. Yeah. A ledger's like a hard wallet. You store that in a safe in your house. You basically can put your crypto on it, just put it in a safe, and it's locked away, right? No one's gonna. The only way you're gonna lose it is you lose the key. So you got to make sure you take care of the key.
So, yeah. So as a general rule, you'd say it's pretty safe. It's pretty solid. Yeah. I mean, everything's hackable. Nothing's foolproof, is it?
Yeah. Well, see, blockchain isn't hackable. That's why it's so valuable. So blockchain is the technology that underpins all of the cryptos. Has never been hacked. Some of the shitty blockchains have. Bitcoin has never been hacked. But where the points of failure are in crypto is like, scammers, people making, like, human error is a major one. Like, we've all heard of the stories of some guy who had like 1,000 Bitcoins on a hard drive, and then they've lost the hard drive, right? We've all heard about stories
I keep saying that one. The guy threw his laptop away, or it went, and he was trying to pay the council so much money to get his laptop back. Yeah,
fucking, you'd be raging though, right? If you had like millions of dollars. Man, a story on ledgers, right? I came to London with one ledger, right? Just enough to sort of, if I want to pull something off an exchange, I can. And there was some on there. I estimate it's about 10K, completely gone. I don't know where I've left it. Right? It's gone somewhere. I don't know where it is. So, I mean, you got to put it in. But see, the thing is, because I moved here and then I moved again, like I moved place, like, or someone stole it, right? Like, if someone came into my room and stole, I don't know, it's gone. So you got to make sure you put it somewhere safe. So, again, like the biggest, the most amount of Bitcoins that have been lost is because people just have had, because of human error, right? The blockchain's safer than you are.
Yeah, sure.
So they have some processes to manage that, right?
So what about, like I said earlier, I said to you, I don't know what you can and can't talk about, blah, 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 but last year, sometime, I remember you said to Lenny, Valentine's Day 2021, Bitcoin would be $50,000. Yeah. And you was wrong. Yeah. By about 4 days. So you was pretty bang on, right?
And $300, it got to $4,700 on Valentine's Day. Yeah.
So you was pretty much bang on with that. What I don't know what you can and can't talk about, but any kind of predictions. You've said some figures to me which I think are just crazy, but I don't understand crypto. Let's start with Bitcoin. Where do you think Bitcoin's going to be, and any other predictions you got?
All right, I'll give you 2 predictions for Bitcoin. Right, In economics, we talk about ceteris paribus. Like if all things being equal, you learn it in university. It's like the first thing. Like if all things being equal, this will continue to do this, right? So if all things being equal, i.e. you don't have any governments try and ban it, or, there's like a global catastrophe which fucks things, like, how we had the COVID flash crash in March last year. I think sort of BTC at the end of this year will be close to 100K US. I think by the end of the decade, we're talking anywhere between 500,000 to 1 million US dollars for one Bitcoin. So I mean, come back and watch this again 10 years, see what's happening. If I'm right, you got to come see my boy Nico here, and then you got to buy a watch of him. You got to give it to me. I think that's a fair trade.
That's
right?
it.
So that's BTC. I kind of think fair value for BTC right now is probably about 80,000 US dollars, and
Today, you mean, like as it should be?
In June, I think it should be 80, right? Which it could. I think I was looking at sort of that same model that I picked 55K Valentine's Day, but that was in December. I picked that. And that same model is saying to me, so it gives two predictions. It gives a bullish prediction and bearish, and sort of a less bullish prediction. But I think it was saying in March, like early, say first 2 weeks of March, can't remember the exact dates. It's 66 or 55K, right? And if you look at how things are, probably it's going to be 66. So yeah, I mean, the thing is, right, for Bitcoin to go to 100K, that's one that doubles, right? So if you want to double your money, buy Bitcoin. If you think that it's going to go up to 100K, I mean, this is my thoughts. This is not financial advice. I keep reiterating that, right? So, for me, I'm like, okay, because I understand how it works and what's bullish and what's happening and whatnot. I'm going like, well, that's going to do 100%. Where am I going to find a 400% move, right? That's where I'm going to be, okay? And so this is where it comes to research, like what's happening, what projects are doing what, and, like, so for instance, the crypto that I'm a part of, NEM, XEM is the token. We're releasing like this new blockchain, sort of in like a month, and people will like, that's a very bullish event, right? Because we're basically upgrading all the technology. So you want to have the latest technology, and so I imagine that we'll see quite like an extensive price appreciation off the back of that. But yeah, things like that excite people in the markets, and yeah, that's kind of how I like to think about it. But I keep reiterating, if you don't know what you're doing, and you want to dabble, just buy Bitcoin and nothing else, and then start to do the research and find a crypto person who's had more than a year's experience, 2, 3, 4, as many as they can get. Ideally, someone who started in 2016 or prior.
There's so many experts. I watch that. I watch a few people on YouTube. I am a baby in this space. Like, I know nothing. Like, I'm early to it, but yeah, I watch a few people, and man, you get hooked by the lines. They're like potential 1,000 times growth, potential 500 times plus growth, and I think a lot of it's bullshit. But
yeah,
some people are bang on. Some people say, "Oh, you should look at this, and this," and you look at them, and they've gone up so much in a month or a week or.
Yeah, man, this is the thing. Like, I don't watch any of the YouTubes and stuff, just because those people like kind of make me they kind of make me don't like crypto, just because I'm like a bunch of charlatans. But there are some people out there, and I think, like, if you see, this is what I would do. Like I said, I don't watch it, but if you're on YouTube and you see someone who has been around for like, they've been doing crypto YouTube for like, since like 2015, they probably know their shit, right? So they're probably worth watching. If it's like Joe Blogs, who's just started his crypto YouTube, in like,
that'll be me next week.
January, after the podcast,
Nico and Nick.
yeah, we could do that. That's got a good yeah, like if they just started up and they're like, well, this is crazy, and like they're like have all the flashing little things, and they're like talking like, I mean, just this is what I was saying before, like human error. Use your wits. Like, if you think that guy is a bit of a dickhead, probably don't take his advice and try and find something else.
Obviously, the people that are going to be watching, there's going to be some people that are into crypto, but some of the people are going to have no idea even what crypto is or haven't done it before. But as much as you can share, obviously you're like an expert in that area. What can you share or advise people that are new into crypto?
Yeah. Okay.
To keep it kind of quite simple.
No, I mean, the first thing I would do is learn how to use the exchange Binance. So this is like, but the reason why I'm saying Binance over Coinbase, like everyone gets the Coinbase app. That's like their first intro to crypto. It's very simple to use. You can buy it.
I think people like that 'cause it's a bit easier to.
It's easy, right?
Yeah.
But the fees are high, and there's not that many cryptos on there. If you just start on Binance and learn how to use Binance, you'll save yourself the pain of having to learn how to use Binance in the future, because eventually you will have to go to Binance to get an exposure to something, because there's more cryptos there. They've got they list the most amount of good cryptos. And so, eventually you're going to have to go to there to get something. If you don't know how to use, it's going to be a ball ache. And then you're going to have to learn how to send crypto from your Coinbase to your Binance. And it's just a mess around. So I would, that's the first thing I'd do, is just take the time before you have any money in there, is to learn how to use Binance. It's not as easy to use as Coinbase. So there's a learning curve. You could probably get some of those YouTube charlatans to show you how to use Binance, right? I would use Binance. I would just read a bit about sort of why Bitcoin's going up, and have an understanding of it, rather than just buying it because, I'll just buy a bit of Bitcoin. It's going, I'll buy a bit of Bitcoin. The reason why I'm saying that is because when shit hits the fan, you got two choices, right? You panic and you sell, or you don't sell. And the reason why you wouldn't sell is because you have some fundamental understanding of where the price should be and where it's going. And generally, if you have a fundamental understanding, when shit hits the fan, you know what to do. Okay, well, this is probably the top, so I'm going to sell. Or, Bitcoin will sell off 30%. So in 2017 bull run, there were like 5 or 6 times that it sold off between 30 and 40% over about a month. So you got to hold your fucking nerve, right? It's going. You're watching your value drop 30% every day. You come in there, it's going down, 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 down. You have to have some conviction you have to have conviction in those points. And this is a mistake I see a lot of people make early days is, oh shit, they think the market only does this.
Yeah,
it's doing that a lot.
That's me.
It's doing that a lot, right? Because the bull market, but you have to understand the concept of volatility, because something that goes up this hard also goes down that hard. So you have to be able to understand, like, where should it be going and why. So that's the other thing. It's like trying to give yourself some a fundamental understanding and pick a price where you think that maybe you'll get out, because it's still early, it's still volatile. And these cycles go up and down quite heavy. And we might, like I said, we might see 100K in a year, but for me, in my most bullish scenario, this bull cycle I think it tops out at 250K. That's in my most bullish scenario. It tops out 250K in 2021. 22 next year.
For Bitcoin, you mean?
For Bitcoin, yeah. So for me, it's like, okay, that's sort of my most bullish scenario, and I've got all these inputs into that. I'm like, I think if you had X and Y happening, you could. But I'm already planning about that stuff. It's like when are my sell signals and how am I going to do it? So have an exit plan. Having an exit plan is very important, because you remember what I said, those animal spirits, the sheep get slaughtered and the pigs get slaughtered. You act like a fucking sheep, just doing whatever's happening. You're just not going to make that much money. You're going to lose money because, it's gone down today, I'm going to sell, and then the next day it goes up 10%. Or this is the classic one. Everyone sells out at the bottom. Right? So yeah, you don't want to be one of those. But I mean, to give you an idea of how like bad retail traders are, the general public, how bad they are, because like people come in when conditions are bullish, but they don't really understand how it works, and so they make these silly errors. And that's why I'm saying, like, give yourself fundamental understanding of how it works and give yourself an exit plan. with those two things alone, you're like 50% more prepared than the majority of people coming in. So my first ever trade was buying BHP shares, and I still own them, right? When I was like in high school. But when I was in university, I started trading with leverage, right? So I levered up and I was trading the like currency pairs. I was trading Aussie dollar, US dollar, right? And I knew that there was like our federal, our central bank meeting was happening, and we were going to put this stuff out, this information out. That was going to be bullish. So I bought it. I bought the Aussie dollar, and it went up, and I made like $180, which is a lot when I went to a uni student, right? And then closed out the trade, and I was like a fucking genius, man. I was like, fucking that. It was easiest $180 I've ever made in my life, right? And I'd put in like all the money I'd saved working through high school into this trading account. And I was like, fuck yeah, like easy shit. Because I think I was only earning like $200 a week waiting tables, right? And then like next trade I made starts losing. I hate
that so much.
I closed that trade for negative $1,700 loss or something, right? So I made 100, boom, and then lost that much. Just because I had no fucking clue what I was doing. I mean, there's a lot of lessons. Like, you learn the most lessons when you lose. All the lessons, all of the, like, you know, you speak to any good trader, they've all had a period where they've like made a lot of money. They've all had a period where they've lost a lot of money. And you ask them, what's been the best, like the most valuable experience for you? They'll be like, well, when I made that fuck up. Like, every good trader I know has a fuck up story. Like, every one of them.
I always say it, you win or you learn. You win or you learn. Innit? You know what I mean?
I agree,
that's how it is. So, what I want to know is, when's the bull run going to stop?
Yeah. Well, when you've got the fucking guy selling nitrous balloons at New Year's to people getting into Bitcoin.
I feel like we could be close, because like everyone that was slagging it seems to be turning. Maybe it's that thing, I can't remember what it's called, but maybe it's that thing where you're more tuned into it, so I'm noticing it and seeing it kind of everywhere. But I'm on the tube and I'm seeing posters for Bitcoin, where it's not Bitcoin but exchanges or whatever. But yeah, I feel like it's blown up massively. Literally the last month or two.
No, I'm cautious of it. Honestly, like it is something that worries me. But you know, when it's a bull market, you remain bullish unless there's reason to not be bullish. So I see it, but I haven't seen enough of it to be bearish yet.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe if we get a big pullback in the market, I'll sort of change my tune a bit. But I've got hedging strategies and stuff. Like, you know, I'm prepared for most situations that will happen. I'll be able to like cover myself, but I've been doing it for so long, right? I instinctively know how to do that. And so, I mean, that's what I'm saying, have exit strategies and shit. Know in the event that something bad happens, okay, what do I do? And maybe just practice it with a few bucks. You know, I'm going to trade into this, maybe trade into a stable coin. I'm going to trade into, how do you trade into a stable coin? How do you execute trades? So I mean, where's it going to top out? So there's a few things. If there's something called the technology adoption curve, and this is part of the like base of my investment thesis. And like Google it. Honestly, if you're watching it, if you've gotten this far, you're obviously interested. Google technology adoption curve, and you'll see it's just this bell curve, and it's basically broken up into the few segments. You've got innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, laggards. So within this curve, every bull market we go through this, it follows this curve. But to zoom out of every bull market and just the longer term adoption of crypto, we're also in this curve. So it's fractal. And where we are right now in the long term crypto view is in the early adopters segment, right? And we're sort of mid early adopters. So that's why we're starting to see some of the early majority begin to come in, but we're not all the early majority. So we're getting, if you think about where we are, we're in that we're in sort of the latter parts of that early adopters curve. And that's characterized by steep growth, right? That's real steep growth, which is kind of what we're seeing. And then so I keep that in the back of my mind, and then I go, okay, so let's see where we get to with sort of like these new participants entering the space, i.e. corporates and big funds. And so I'm looking at the chart right now, and it's going very steep, and I'm going, okay, that's a bell for me. That's an alarm bell, and I'm always ready to hedge. I'm always ready to hedge. And just caveat, like I don't get much sleep, right? Because the market's 24/7, right? You just got to be on top of this shit.
Oh mate, I've got a small amount in it compared to most people, but it's addictive. You can't help. Like you wake up and you
first thing
you want to just refresh the feed, just see where it's at.
I literally dream about. My girlfriend calls it my spidey sense because like sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and be like, got to do this.
Yeah.
And like like actually, it actually is pretty cool because it worked. Like the majority of time that say I wake up at like 3 a.m. I'll be like, shit, I got to do something, right? And generally I have to. But I mean, I digress. Like, what I'm talking about, why I was talking about all this adoption curve and everything is because there's the new adopters are corporates, right? They're these like people like funds like big hedge funds like BlackRock's the biggest fund in the world, $7 trillion under management, $7 trillion worth of assets under management, and they go, we're dabbling in it, so they're figuring it out, right? And you've got corporates thinking about you've got corporates moving their balance sheet in, and it's like, okay, once a decision's made at the board level to enter into crypto, right? They're not going in and going, oh, I want to buy this price, I want to buy this price. They're going, we're moving in 10% of our balance sheet, we're moving in 1%, whatever the number is.
I just put it in.
They're just going in. They'll go up and they'll make an OTC trade, or they might adopt a method where they go, okay, well, we're going to begin a buying campaign over the next month, and we're going to buy all of our Bitcoin over the next month, and we're just going to, whatever that average price ends up being, that'll be our entry price. So the fact is, Tesla wasn't the last company. I believe Tesla's not the last company to do that, and I think we're going to see a lot more pop up. And I think this is the new bellwether, right? I think because that's the new participant, what the bellwether is when you have the average shop, the fish and chip shop down the road is investing their balance sheet into crypto. Maybe now that's the new sell signal. Maybe it's not when the fucking nitrous oxide laughing gas dude's selling. Maybe it's not it. Because last cycle was the general public knew about it. But you still didn't have real like institutional money coming in. You had general public, and it peaked when the general public who didn't know shit about trading were entering. And I mean, like, I'm out of my core friends who I went to high school with, I'm the only like finance trader type, right? All my buddies are tradies, right? And I love them to bits. But I always use those guys to gauge where the market is.
Yeah.
I always use them. They don't know it, but I'll be like, "Oh, Nick, what's going on?" And they're like, "Hey, well, now he's asking me about it." Oh, he's asking me about it? Okay.
Yeah.
So.
The ball runs dumb.
Yeah.
All right, mate. So let's wrap it up. So, anything crazy we've missed? Do you think? Or
no. I mean, not much. I mean, what one thing I'd say is like, bullish markets everywhere right now. Like you've had all this stimulus flow into the markets. Like all we spoke about earlier, all of this money got printed. A lot of that money actually flows directly into markets, right? So you get everything starts to go up. So it's like, right now, the way I'm thinking is you just don't want to hold cash. You don't want to hold cash at all. But it's not just cryptos. Like you should always think about diversifying. So, one thing that that's my like side hobby now is looking at the watch market, right? And I'm like, want to start applying a lot of my techniques that I use in the crypto market to the watch market.
I know someone good that can help you with that.
Yeah. Well, see, I want to do it. Like there's all this stuff's happening, right? And what we're going to because of all the stimulus, we're going into just a bullish period, right? Bulls back up. Be a bull in a bull market. Everything's going up. Watches, stocks, cryptos, housing's going to go up, right? Right now, there's a pandemic a global pandemic
in the world, yeah.
But how often are you going to have like a depression in London housing market, right? Like how often? This is probably the ultimate gap, and you've got interest rates so low. So for me, I'm like, okay, I'm all about crypto, and I'm like, hey, am I ever going to get a Mad London place,
Mm.
right? Well, I don't even want to fucking really live here. I think it's like,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of shit compared to ours, to be honest. But something to think about. So, I mean, just be bullish in general, whether you're buying like, like whatever it is, like just like if you're like sort of like someone around our age, like millennial or whatever. But is that what we are, millennials?
I don't know.
Because I thought we were Gen X or Z for a bit. I don't know.
Baby boomers,
Changes all the
millennials. I
time.
don't know. Yeah.
Changes all the time. But I mean, if you're in that, like, just like don't put all your eggs in one basket. I.e., don't go all in on crypto because crypto is the most volatile of all of them.
It's the multiple streams of income, isn't it? They say like most millionaires have I don't know how many it is, 7 streams of income or whatever, whether it's property, watches, crypto.
This is the thing, right? Did you ever play like Age of Empires or anything as a kid?
No, what's that?
Yeah, fuck off.
Some Aussie thing. What's
You're
that?
joking to me.
No, what's that?
You honestly don't know?
No, what is it?
Age of, all right. So like, like these computer games where like you build like a base and then you build an army and then you go and attack the other thing. Like, so like Red Alert, Red
Command
Alert.
and Conquer.
Command and
Generals.
Conquer, stuff like that. So this is something that clicked to me when I was like when I was like so my late teens or whatever. Like sort of as I started to get into all of this, like, how in those games, those strategy games or whatever you call them, you build gold mines to get the revenue to build your army.
Yeah.
And then you build a fuckload of gold mines and then you can build more army. But you build all your gold mines all around because, if you have your gold mines in one area and the enemy attacks it, you lose your revenue source. That's my core investment thesis, man. I'm like, it's just a fucking game. You just want to invest in like have all your gold mines, but have them distributed around. Have your main gold mine that I know how to work this gold mine. But then like I've got to have a gold mine here, because one, you reduce your risk, right? If the enemy attacks, they can take out one gold mine. I got 6 more gold mines. Like, that's kind of it. So I think sort of, and if you're watching this channel as well, right? You obviously got an interest in watches, like do the work, because I think these are such cool investments because you can wear them, and then you might this went up 20% last year. Like, it's a fucking mad trade, man. That's a mad trade. Take that trade any day.
They've gone crazy. Yeah, they've gone crazy, and they're so cashable as well. Like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I suppose it's similar to crypto, just a known currency worldwide. But yeah, they've gone mad the last couple of years. Watches. Which is good. Yeah. But I don't know, there's a weird thing, like people think, so years ago, believe it or not, right? So check this, we used to give people, if we knew you maybe, when was we in one of the first shops? 15, 20 years ago. No, less than that, 15 years ago or so. If you wanted that watch, we could have got you maybe 23% off, 23% off that watch from the retail price. But you think you're saving, but that's just what it was worth then. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So they may have been costing us 25 off and we could charge 23 off. Whereas now they might trade for 10% over, but we're making 12% over. So we're not making no less or more money because the watches are up, if you know what I mean. Probably, if anything, we're making less because it's just everyone's fucking doing watches at the minute.
Yeah, they are.
But the thing I like about watches is that they are, just from experience, super safe. Like you're saying about bull markets and bear markets, and I don't know what the market is for watches, so I'd say it's probably just like, I don't know, it's just like steady. It just creeps up steady. There's never no major drops. It's just nice and steady, and you have times like now, the last month or two, where it's kind of really risen up a bit, but it's you don't have no major drop-offs.
Yeah, but this is why I want to start looking at it, right? Because there's always a point where you run out of buyers, right? It gets too unobtainable, right? And but here's the thing, right? About the watch market is, if you have cash, you have spare cash, and you sort of understand that a watch actually isn't a bad investment. Like you're not just like, back in the day when you're saying you're giving those mad discounts, you spent the money, you're probably not going to get it back, right? Now you spend the money and like, well, I'm probably going to get back more.
It was standard years ago.
Yeah.
If you bought a watch off us for 10k, you'd come in 6 months later and would give you 7.5, 8, and then sell it for 9. That was the standard thing. Now you buy a watch for 10k, you come into us a year later, and you're asking for 12, 13.
Yeah.
So it's changed so much.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the thing about the watch market. I reckon it's going to be tied to the equity market. So the equity market's going up. A lot more people own stocks than they do cryptos. But they're all going to I feel they'll all correlate sort of similar. When you have the big bust in equity markets, right? And who knows when that'll be. Like, equity bull markets can last like a decade, right? You're going to get a lot of people getting rich. And like, it's like you just make a mad trade, close out, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get a Rolex now. I'm gonna go fucking phone up the Colebys.
Basically,
and get a mad watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but I mean, I feel like that'll happen, and that'll keep driving up the price. And then, when people lose that disposable income, then you'll start to see it sell off a bit. But I don't get the Richard Mills, or is it Mille? I don't know how to say it.
Either way, if you're buying one, you can say whatever you want. Richard Mille,
Yeah,
they've gone mad. I'll be honest with you, we've slagged them off for years, and thought that was a bit of a gimmicky thing, or more of a, I don't know, just there was going to be a 5-minute wonder. But man, they've gone crazy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. So we bought an RM5, which is a bit of a smaller one. It's more of a wearable watch. Some of them are massive. 15k we give for it. We give 15k. I sold it for 15k, and we ended up selling it to someone, swapping, taking stuff in part exchange, silver, this, that, and bought one again recently for about 55k, and that's in about 2-3 years. They've gone mad, and some of them is like 100k gone to 250.
Yeah, I know, dude.
They've gone crazy, but you know why? It's because they're the top of the tree. So you start making crazy money. You have loads of big wins, and you're into watches. You soon get bored of Rolex. All of your pals have got Rolex, and everyone, say like your circle's into watches. Everyone knows Richard Mille's the top level. So if there was like, you got Bitcoin, and if there was a coin that was worth 500k a coin, if you start going, oh yeah, I've got this new coin worth 500k, you are the man. You know what I mean? So, and it's the same with Richard Mille. It's like, if you've got a Richard Mille, it's just a status thing. It's like you've got like the best of the best.
But that's, I never viewed it like that. For me, like, I think it's beautiful, and I like the trade. I love it because I'm a trader. I just can't switch that off. But like, for me, end of bull market watch is AP double balance wheel skeleton. I just think that's the most beautiful watch. I think it's the most beautiful watch. I think in gold, or I'll get it in gold. I think because
the rose gold,
the silver scratch, it won't show up as much. Or they've got it in black ceramic, I think. But for me, I'm like, I'll get that, and then like that's like buying artwork to me.
Well, you know what, you know where to come.
Hey, I've been telling your dad that for a while.
That's it, mate. That's it.
That's the first thing I said to him. I was like, when I'm thinking about getting a watch, because I was actually thinking about getting it at Christmas. And then crypto went bonkers, and I was like, I ain't selling shit. I ain't selling shit. Even like just cashing out. But anyway, happy with the trade.
Good. So we'll close it up because we've been talking for a little while now. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you, brother.
We'll draw it to a close. It's been good. Dived in deeper than what I thought. Talked about Bitcoin, meditation, some other bits and bobs. But that's it, mate. But thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. And hope you've learned something watching it. And I'm sure most people are going to have watched this are kind of into crypto, or have got some interest in it. But like I said, I'm super new to it. I've learned a lot from you, and most of the stories I've heard you haven't told on here. But yeah, it just got me drawn in, and made me realise you know your stuff, and you know what you're talking about. So just to literally finish it off with a last bit of wisdom, anything you can give to viewers, a little last bit of wisdom from a crypto expert.
If you want to get a nice watch, speak to this man.
I like it. Lovely. All right, mate. Thank you for watching, and that was Nick on crypto. Hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next video.